I use Telegram every single day. In fact, our entire organization is on Telegram. I have 8 to 9 hours of screen time a day sometimes on Telegram. Telegram is one of my favorite applications out there for security, for privacy, for speed, for group chats, for file sharing. It is objectively the best messenger application out there. And I know because I've used all of them. I've used WhatsApp. I've used Signal. What is the news that occurred this weekend with the French government and a messenger app, Telegram? What's going on here?
Well, the relevance is it's you and it's about 1 billion people worldwide. In most of the world, either WhatsApp or Telegram is the primary use of peer-to-peer communication because there's no fees that you incur, like needing a phone plan or SMS for regular text messages. And there has been a war by the U.S. statecraft apparatus, the State Department, the U.S. intelligence community, the Pentagon, and our swarm army of soft power NGOs to first use Telegram and WhatsApp as an instrument of statecraft to allow U.S.-backed dissident groups or U.S.-backed political movements or U.S.-backed paramilitaries to use a secure end-to-end encrypted chat that has this unique capacity of mass communication, unlike apps like Signal, for example, where you can't have these huge groups and this really versatile, multi-channel capacity to simulate effectively a Facebook page in terms of its size, scope, and breadth of people you can reach, but having the benefit of it being a secure, encrypted chat communication. And so there is a very strong, obviously the news is that the founder of Telegram, Pavel Durov, has been arrested in France. And the point that I have been making for the past 48 hours has been that I believe that the role of the U.S. Embassy in Paris has to be interrogated and investigated about whether or not there was a U.S. State Department back channel with French law enforcement or French intelligence or the French government in advance of this arrest, because it is so insanely advantageous to the self-perceived interests and strategic imperatives of the U.S. Pentagon, the Central Intelligence.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, Mike. We only have so much time here. What exactly was he arrested for? What were the charges? He just got 12 with 12 criminal counts. What was the CEO arrested for?
Well, he's facing 20 years in prison. What he's technically arrested for is failing to cooperate with French government officials in terms of moderating content on the platform. So this is an end-to-end encrypted chat, and the thing he's being arrested for is failing to censor content on the platform.
Got it. So I just want to make sure I understand. That would be like arresting the CEO of Ford Motor Company if someone uses a Ford car to traffic kids across the southern border.
Actually, that's a great analogy. So what they're getting him on is the fact that because Telegram is a secure end-to-end encrypted chat app, there are illicit activities that take place on the platform. Surely, child pornography, drug trafficking, human child trafficking. All of those crimes are crimes in their own right, and they are saying that his failure to cooperate with French law enforcement makes him punishable criminally under French law for failing to stop those events. But mark my words, that is not what they are after.
No, of course not. This is an attack on free speech and free expression. Telegram is where the dissident movement lives. Let me be very clear. Here's my most public and private advice for President Trump. President Trump should announce that when he becomes president, there will be a 300% tariff on French wine day one if these charges or future charges continue. We will not subsidize NATO. We will not send a penny to NATO. If you go arrest people that own social media or messenger platforms, that is an assault on freedom of speech, period. America will not put up with it. If President Trump wins the presidency, by the way, you know what a 300% tariff on French wine would do? It would destroy the French economy. Just so we're clear. Donald Trump threatened a 100% tariff with Macron, and Macron ran to the hills. You will not do that. Oh, yes, I will. We have so much power over the European government. Mike, do you believe the American government is quietly behind the French government doing this? Are they just merely a proxy of the American Central Intelligence Agency?
Yes, well, I totally agree with the proposal you just put forward. That is not the blocking point in all of this. I don't think Trump is going to have nearly as much trouble with the French government as he will with his own State Department. This is the same story, by the way, as the EU Digital Services Act, which, by the way, is spearheaded. This is the major censorship law and regulation in the EU that just went into effect for that, where the French head of the EU Censorship Commission, Thierry Breton, just threatened Elon Musk 2 weeks ago for potentially having a conversation with Donald Trump. If you recall that, even to, basically threatened criminal penalties on Elon Musk. And again, that was a French regulatory official at the helm of the EU censorship law, which it has been the number one wish list item on civilian affairs of NATO. And in terms of the U.S. role in this, the point that I really want to drive home is this has been a strategic imperative of the Pentagon, the CIA, the State Department, and thousands of U.S. government-funded soft power projects to bring Telegram under control, into its possession. Not to kill Telegram. Telegram is a critical asset for U.S. intelligence. Telegram was the primary method for mobilizing street protests in the attempted color revolution of Belarus in the summer of 2020. It is a vital asset for U.S. intelligence within Russia itself. I don't know if your audience knows this, but you can look this up. Several years ago, in 2018, 26 U.S. NGOs, the lion's share of them U.S. government-funded, U.S. State Department-funded, condemned Russia and threatened Russia for considering blocking Telegram in Russia. Why did U.S. NGOs call it a human rights violation for Russia to go after Telegram? Well, it's because these NGOs are fomenting the political resistance movements within Russia, using the fact that Telegram is an open playing field for all intelligence agencies everywhere. So they want to rig that playing field by taking control of the back end in terms of spying and surveillance, and by taking control of content moderation in order to kill perceived Russian propaganda channels, because much of the Russian military and much of the Russian civilian class, most of them use Telegram. This is why everyone celebrating what just happened on social media today is going to have a Ukraine checkmark, emoji icon in their name. And by the way, I'm not even weighing in on the foreign policy of this. The fact is free speech is a casualty of a proxy war by the U.S. blob. And this is happening everywhere all at once. The State Department is pushing this in Brazil.
Let me ask you, sorry, Mike, I totally agree. Is Elon Musk at risk here?
He's a unique case. I don't think he's immediately at risk. I do think that something like this helps build, the sort of substructure of a international norms and standards argument to be able to threaten that against Elon Musk. I think that the fact that Elon Musk is so internationally beloved, the fact that there is no encrypted, end-to-end, totally anonymized thing. Everything Elon is doing is out in the open. That is, there's accessing Twitter's back end. Does not do all that much more. It does some, and there's actually been a lot of weeping and moaning about Elon's changes to terms of service policies. But the fact is this is something of a unique case, because what's done by the Russian military in secret on Telegram is important to the CIA. There's not you can't really do that. On Twitter, everything you say is public, and many other reasons maybe that are aside from this, but they are ultimately seeking a rule of law leverage against Elon Musk. But what they're currently doing is that on the civil side. This new EU Digital Services Act, again spearheaded by a French government official, a French military contractor, doing the wish list items of NATO, as NATO has been pushing the EU to pass this new disinformation compliance law in the EU. That is a total crowbar that they are going to use against Elon. I wrote about this 2.5 years ago as the number one existential threat to Elon's ability to have free speech, because my organization, Foundation for Freedom Online, even posted the insider clips from Zoom calls of the top U.S. censorship heavyweights in the censorship industry here in the United States, bragging on tape 8 months ago that they would be in full panic with Elon at the helm, but they have a trick up their sleeve that they can panic responsibly, because the EU Digital Services Act will force Elon to put in place the censorship edicts here in the U.S. in order to preserve the European market.